Hey guys, Jimmy from the Game Grinder taking a look at the AmpTune from Macally. A lot of discussion on the internet about how to pronounce this company's name. I go with Macally. A lot of people say, or some people rather say Macally. Some say Macally. I go with Macally, considering that they make a lot of Apple and Mac things, and they are an ally of Mac. That's what I go with. I'm sure I'll get clarification. I'll send an email to make sure. Figure that all out. Anyway, this is an iPod dock charger player, as you could probably tell from the look of it. Some of the aesthetic stuff. This is about, let's see, there's an iPod Touch 2nd generation. It's about 1 and, I'm opening Facebook for some reason, about 1 3/4, I would say, long. And then it's probably about 1, and all kinds of stuff here, about 1 high, 1 iPod Touch in height. And then when you expand it, this is how you, of course it will dock 2 different ways. We'll get down to the second. It's probably about 2 1/4 long. So it's not very big, is basically what I'm trying to say. And so that's a good thing in the world of iPod docks. There's a lot of big, ugly, poorly built iPod docks out there. And so it's kind of refreshing to see something that is this small. Let's go over some of the aesthetics. Kind of a silvery grill, real tough plastic. You're not going to get to the speakers that way. So that will protect you. This is all black plastic here. The round in the back. Here's your power in. This is DC 5 volt, and here's a line. Or excuse me. This is here it is, DC 5 volt. Here's your line in right here, and then here, say you go to the beach, you go to the lake. There it is. 4 AA batteries. If you want to run off the batteries, it will not charge the iPod when you run the batteries. It will just play it. But in our experience with that, it kind of runs the batteries out too quickly. So I recommend either staying with this, or as always, you use rechargeable batteries. That way you don't waste all of your hard-earned money. Rubbery grips here at the bottom does a pretty good job. You're not going to expect it to hold it upside down, so it does a serviceable job. Now, as you saw earlier, the thing expands. Why is that, you ask? Well, it's because you can dock it not only this way, but you can also dock it this way for watching movies and just for other things that you want to watch in landscape mode. So that's a cool feature. I don't know, I don't see myself using it. I really haven't used it that way. I don't watch a lot of movies at home with my iPod. I watch them on the go, so I don't have the ability to take that with me. So I could see some people using it, some of the younger crowds, some of the teenagers, some of the 10-year-olds that maybe have it, that sit up in their room and they want to watch a movie on their iPod, but also want to have a cool little dock for it. One of the big selling points for this thing is actually this thing right here, a tiny, almost weightless remote. This thing weighs almost nothing. I think maybe 2/4 is about how much it weighs. Just a very small little remote that really keeps the functionality for this thing. This remote is dead on accurate, very responsive. From great distances you could do it, and that's really the huge, big selling point for something like this, is that it has a very good remote, and this of course does. And so that's one of the reasons why we hold it in such high regard, that great remote. Now let's talk about some of what it does. It's an iPod dock, it's a player. There, we'll power it up right there. You got your volume down there. You can track forward here, pause, track back, your normal stuff that you see. So we'll get it here. The charging, quick. It's not terribly fast. It's probably about a traditional wall charger. So it does that pretty well. I mean, it won't run out while it's playing. Let's put it that way. So that's always a good thing to have. The sound, it's not, don't expect a lot of bass. You could tell just basically by the look not to expect too much from the bass. The highs are good. They hold their own. You can turn this thing up without any distortion. Now, we've noticed that. The mids kind of get a little muddy. It's not too bad. For $70, I think it's a pretty good value in the world of iPod docks and players. It has pretty good sound for a small size, and for what is now considered a pretty small price for an iPod dock charger player, especially with the included vertical ability, or rather the horizontal ability to watch and charge. That's also an added bonus. It sounds pretty good. We played it in multiple rooms, kind of in a central location to spread throughout a house or an office. Did a very good job of distributing sound around and carrying sound. This, like I said, can get very loud, and without losing too much in the audio quality, or really losing anything at all. And that's a positive. because sometimes you just want to crank music up, and this is something that can handle that. This is also good for desks. It has a nice, it goes low, obviously. It will play at a very comfortable level, a lot of clearness and a lot of consistency in the audio when it's low and when it's high. So that's a positive, very dynamic in its abilities to send around audio. So the AmpTune, I think I'm going to go with a decent, it's a B. Some of the problems I have with it are maybe the price. Everything could always be cheaper in the world of electronics. But this is kind of, there's some points in here, especially with this movement, that can be kind of flimsy. I don't know, some of the build you wish would be a little more aesthetically pleasing. This isn't really the most gorgeous iPod dock you'll ever see in the world. Another thing is you have to get rid of you don't have to get rid of them, but you have to take off your skins, cases, and things like that. That's consistent with most docks, so not a terrible surprise. That's just another iPod dock thing that you'll run into. A lot of talk with the iPhone 4 about signal strength and things like that. This is an iPod Touch, so there's not really a signal, but I've noticed that when it's on the dock, the Wi-Fi drops a ton. Here I only have 1 bar of Wi-Fi here, and when I take it off the dock, it should go back up to, yeah, there it goes, right back up to 2 almost instantly. I don't know what that's about. That is an issue if you like Pandora and if you like Slacker radio, things like that run, and you'll want to produce that music through these speakers. That could be an issue. Another issue sometimes is getting this thing into those cradles. That could be a trouble as well. You're clanging around in there. But overall, pretty consistent build. I wish it was a little more aesthetically pleasing. What really saves it for us is this thing right here. Great remote. Good sound reproduction. Not a lot of bass. Mids can be money with certain music, especially music that's kind of tingy, high-pitched music. Highs hold pretty well. Can get very loud. Portable, small, pretty dynamic. I like it. It's a B. It's the AmpTune from Macally, and this is the Game Grader. Thanks for watching.